A while back, my youngest child came home from school one day and said, Mom, I really want a backyard sustainable garden. And frankly, it's kind of hard to say no to that. I decided that I really didn't want to spend a whole lot of money on this project, so I used whatever things I had around the house already. I have never been able to get a pallet apart without tearing the wood up completely, so I decided to just cut the pieces out. And then to keep the soil from coming out of the sides, we used some landscape fabric and some of those pieces of wood to hold the fabric in place. And I used some old 4x4s left over from an old playset to make planter boxes. I reused the soil from our old garden, which was still pretty hardy, but I did add a little bit of manure to it just to beef it up a little bit. So we salvaged what we could from the old garden and pressure washed the bricks and the patio stones. I used the old bricks and the rods from the old boxes to hold the bricks in place, and I reclaimed the sand and pebbles from the old garden to level out the walking space between the boxes. And then I added more of the reclaimed soil from the old garden, planted some pretty flowers because you want your garden to look pretty. And of course you want to be able to eat out of your garden, so I added some herbs, as well as some tomatoes and some peppers, cucumbers, and a few other things. Now, I'm no master gardener, but I have learned a few things over the years. Eggshells, for instance, can add calcium back into your soil, which is particularly good for tomatoes, especially if your tomatoes have come out with a little brown spot on them right off of the vine. Just crunch up the shells and sow them into your soil. Another way to add additional nutrients back into your soil is ashes from wood-burning logs. Now, this will also raise the pH of your soil, so you wouldn't want to put it around acid-loving plants like azaleas and blueberries and strawberries, but it's really great for tomatoes and a lot of the other plants in your garden, as well as the hardwood trees in your yard. If you chop up green onions or scallions and you have that little white piece left, replant it in your garden and it just might sprout again. It's been a few weeks and the garden is starting to really look beautiful. The herbs and flowers are gorgeous. The tomatoes are growing very nicely.
This last weekend, I headed down to Dollar General because I grabbed some flower pots that are only $1 each. But first thing, I'm going to grab some 1x4s and mark them at 36 inches. I'm going to cut 4 of these pieces on my miter saw. Once I get them cut, I can lay it down and put over 5 of the pots to make sure they fit perfectly, which they did. Then I'm going to measure the height of the flower pots. I need to make sure I cut a 1x6 that is long enough and tall enough to go over that. So I went at 8 inches. And I'm going to cut these. Since I have 4 of these pieces I'm going to make, I need 2 on each end. That's going to be 8 of these pieces I need. Once I get them all cut, I'm going to run some glue down the 1x3s so that they stick really nice once I nail them in. So this 1x3 is going to go into the 1x6. I'm going to use some brad nails to hold it together. I'm going to do the same on the other side, right down the middle, glue and some brad nails. Once that's put together, I need something that'll go on the sides to hold the flower pots in. And this little 1x2 is perfect. I measured up 2.5 inches, put a couple of brad nails in with glue, turned it around, and I can do the same on the other side. Again, this is a 1x2 with 2 little brad nails on each side, and it holds together just great. Actually, it turned out really nice. I'm going to test it, and look at that. It holds all 5 pots perfectly. But I need to drill some holes in the top of the sides because this is where the lag bolt's going to go. So I'm going to drill that out, and I'm going to lay all 4 of these pieces out. I'm going to measure and make sure they're equally spaced, and then I'm going to take another 1x3 and mark where the holes are. And then right in the middle of that 1x3, I'm going to drill a hole just big enough for that carriage bolt to go through. Now, I'm going to stick the carriage bolt in through on one side, stick it through on the other, and then I'm going to use a washer and a nut to put them together. I'm going to do this up and down all the pieces, and then I'm going to use a ratchet just to make sure they're nice and tight. Once that's done, I'm going to turn it upside down, run some glue, and then I'm going to use a little bit of the scrap 1x3s to hold them together. Little bit of brad nails, clean up the glue, and then it's ready to put it in place. But it's time to plant all the pots. And I'm going to use a variety of different things. This right here is just a little tomato plant. I'm also going to put some marigolds and some spices and stuff in. Once I do that, I'm going to start laying them all up, and I'm going to intertwine all the different colors and make them look super good. And this thing turned out amazing. It looks great right up there at the front door, and it's low profile. Doesn't take up a lot of room, but it gets plenty of sun. Springtime is upon us and the front of my house is not looking good. Now this is the hard part. We got to clear all of this out, so I got to work. Once I got all that done, I used a large rake to make sure it was level and I moved the stepping stones. Once I get all of this clear, it's time to grab one 4x4x8 pressure treated board. And the reason I'm going pressure treated is because it's going to go into the ground and that way it won't rot out. I'm going to cut this 8-foot board into 4 pieces, which is 2 feet each. Once I got all my 4 pieces, I'm going to grab some cedar fence pickets. These are 6 foot long, but I'm going to go ahead and cut off just the dog ears on them because I want a straight edge. I'm going to lay these out just like you see in the video here and put some deck screws. These are only 1.5 inches long, and that's all you need to hold them in place. Once I get one side all squared up and down, I'm going to go to the other side. We're going to make 2 exact copies of this, one for each of the long sides. Once I get these screws in, then it's time to put a second board. When these are together, they're going to be 12 inches in depth. And I want to make sure that I get them screwed in again on both sides. Now it's time to make the other ends. I'm going to go 30 inches on those cedar boards, cut those. And again, I'm going to need 2 for each side, so a total of 4. I'm going to go ahead and get these started, lining these up with 2 screws on each end, and then I'll just put them right into the other side of the 4x4 picket. Once these are all in, we're going to go ahead and also do a second board, and that way we have our right depth. Once you get this in, it's actually very strong and easy to move. It's still lightweight. As you can see, we've got our 12-inch depth right here. Now, once all this is together, it's time to dig out where the posts are going to go. So I'm going to use a post hole digger and go in a couple of inches and get that nice and deep. I'm lucky the soil in my area is kind of nice to work with. Once I get that, I can put it in to keep the weed control. That's right, I'm going to use some cardboard. I just lay that down, put some soil on top. Now, the first thing I'm going to put is a filler in. This is not the kind that you're just going to plant directly into. So I just put about 3 bags in and laid it across the bottom right on top of the cardboard. Once I get all this in, now it's time to go to the garden soil. That is what has all the organics and you can plant directly into. I'm going to get 3 bags, fill this up all the way to the top because there will be some settling over the couple of months when spring and summer arrive. I'm going to use a rake to keep spreading it out, break up any large clods that come. I took this out of the garden. I'm going to transplant this. I'm going to put this in, and this root is going to take off pretty good. Then it's time to put all the flowers in. I actually got these on sale at my local hardware store, and it was great. Once I get all of these planted, then it's time to put the stepping stones back in place, and I was able to reuse some of the bark dust, but I'm going to put some new stuff down also. Then it's time for watering. We want those roots to take hold. Do you remember how bad that looked? Look at this. It turned out absolutely fabulous. It gives it a new look, and once I get some new bark dust down, it's going to look great. I think these cedar planters turned out just great, and you can also use them for a retaining wall. I hope you enjoyed this project and it motivates you to make your own planters. Thank you for watching Home Talk, and we'll catch you next time.